Okay, thank you everyone for being patient there. This is our September 7th Clackamas County Solid Waste Commission meeting. We'll start off with introductions. Rick, do you want to kick us off?
Sure. Rick Winterhalter, Clackamas County.
And I'll go next. Chad Euler, Solid Waste Commission Chair. Bill, how about you?
Yeah, Bill Potter, Commissioner at Large.
I'll just jump in. Neil Becerra Philwatt, Clackamas County, and I'll go to Carlton.
Good afternoon, everybody. Carlton Palmier. I'm with Waste Management Industry Representative.
I'll go next. Will Mathias, Industry Representative, CFO, B&B Leasing.
And I'm Steve Schwab. I am with Sunset Garbage Collection.
Do we want to do introductions for the Recology folks, or do we want to wait till we get into that part of the discussion?
No, I think
I was waiting on Carla.
I could get unmuted, but yes, I am Carla Schaefer, and I too am with Sunset Garbage.
I'll go next. I'm Steve Brum. I'm Recology's Regional Vice President for the Pacific Northwest.
And I'm Liz Smith. I'm Recology's Head of Corporate Development.
I'm Victor Enriquez. I am the Regional HR Manager for Recology's Pacific Northwest region.
Hi, everybody. Dan Blue. I'm the Government and Community Relations Manager for Recology Northern Oregon.
Great. Thank you, everyone. Welcome. Okay, next item on our agenda was the any feedback, review, or amendments to our May 17th meeting minutes.
I have one. This is Bill Potter. You can't see me. The very last section, it talks about, I brought up a discussion about the enhanced recycling program, in particular about batteries. And it kind of, the minutes kind of drifted off there, but I did request that there be some follow-up on where the status of the enhanced recycling program is in the county. And I have some concerns about that it may not be on schedule. So that's the reason I brought that up.
Okay, Bill, just to clarify that you're commenting on making sure that that comment was captured in the minutes?
Yes, because it kind of like drifted off in the minutes. It just said there was some general discussion and then it dropped. And I think I was a little more specific than that, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, I see. Discussion ensued.
I would concur. I recall that as well.
Okay. Got it. I don't know. Is that to Neil? Is that something we can do a revision on?
Yes, and I'm sorry I only caught part of it, but we'll get it in the recording and make edits to the minutes.
Okay. Does anyone else have any corrections? Okay. So with those corrections that Mr. Potter suggested, does anyone want to make a motion on accepting the minutes?
I will move to approve the minutes as amended. This is Bill.
I'll second.
All right, excuse me, moved and seconded. All in favor for approval as amended?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Next item on our agenda is a franchise transfer. Rick, and I'll hand this over to you to get us kicked off.
Okay, just real quickly, I'm just gonna, everybody has the report. I've seen and I'm sure read the report, so all the pertinent information is there. Of course, Sunset Garbage looking to make a transfer to a new company formed by a Recology Oregon, Recology Clackamas. And so we are happy for Steve and Carla, and yet sad to see them move on as well. And just on a personal note, I've learned so much about this garbage business from these two individuals over these some years. Been involved and very appreciative of all of the work that they've done on behalf of the county citizens, and I'm pretty confident that is going to continue with this transfer. But I think really the story to tell is Steve and Carla's, and then we'll turn it over to them and go from there. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. I'll just give you the Sunset Garbage Collection story as we know it. Our grandfather, John Guinazzo, immigrated from Italy to work for or with some family, maybe just some shirt-tail relatives at Sunset Scavenger in San Francisco. We're not sure if he actually ever made it to San Francisco, but we do know he came to Portland in 1919, where he bought a horse and wagon and started Sunset Garbage. He chose the name Sunset Garbage because of Sunset Scavenger and his connection there. In 1934, he was asked to come out and service a trailer park on Southeast 82nd, where Johnson Creek, the actual creek, not the street, crosses because no one else would go out of the city that far. It was considered out in the country with dirt roads. In 1944, he sold his downtown work and retired on his Friday and Saturday country routes, which is what we have today. My father, John Schwab, married Flora Guinazzo, his daughter, of course, in 1952, and they bought the company in the mid-50s. In the late 60s, he incorporated and joined the union to get benefits for himself and his employees. In 1990, he retired and sold the company to me, and I added my sister Carla as an owner in 1992 to help run the company. We both had already been working in the company for years. Today, Sunset Garbage has been in business for 104 years, plus or minus a few days. This is emotional. Carla and I have made the decision to sell our company to Recology, not because of our grandfather's story. Oh, sorry, got a phone call. Not because of our grandfather's story or Recology's connection to Sunset Scavenger, but because we believe they're the best choice for the future of our employees and our customers. Recology is an ESOP, employee-owned company, which will be an additional benefit to our employees. We look forward to seeing Recology through the successful transition and helping them continue the great customer service we have provided over the years. It has been an honor and privilege to serve the residents and businesses of Clackamas County and work with the staff over the years here at the county to make the collection service one of the best anywhere. And at this point, I was supposed to turn over to Chris Carey, but I don't see he's here. So I'm going to turn it over to somebody from Recology to let them tell you about their company. But that's our story at this point.
All right, thanks, Steve. So Liz had a PowerPoint presentation. Are you going to share, Liz? Or yes, you are. All right. So I'll walk through this pretty quick, and anybody can stop us along the way and ask questions. But I know, we'll go through this, and I know you all have questions for us. And we'll try to respect that time. Anyways, I'll kick this off.
Steve, before you get started, I'm sorry, Bill Potter, I just want you to know that I emailed this to you, so you should be able to view it if you have that capability in front of you, but it has been emailed to you.
Okay, I'll look and see who would be the sender.
Tennille Becerra, Bill Walk.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I got it.
Sorry, Steve, I just wanted to make sure he had access to that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so hey, we're all excited to be here today talking to you all. I mean, I was just looking at the date on the calendar. I think it's been 10 years since I've been in a Clackamas County meeting in a hauler capacity. I think since then in a post-collection capacity, but it's good to be here. But yeah, anyways, we're excited to tell you a little bit about our company and about our plans to continue the fantastic customer service that Steve just talked about, and really we want to make him and Carla proud in how we we run the company and do business in Clackamas County. So just quick agenda, you can see here some of the things we'll cover today. You know, our history about employee ownership, our operations in Oregon, some of the local leadership. There's some folks on there that aren't here today that you should know about. Some operations, you know, what our operations will look like or what the plan is, and our timeline for implementation. Okay. So yeah, so Recology as a company has been around for over 100 years. You know, we started back in San Francisco and have spread up and down the West Coast. In fact, you know, across the 3 states, we're servicing about 1 million homes today and 125,000 businesses. About 136 various communities that we service up and down the West Coast. We are today 100% employee-owned resource recovery company, and we have about 3,800 employees as of the moment. So as far as our mission and vision goes, just wanted to cover, you know, we are, excuse me, hold on a second, here we go. So, you know, for those of you who know us, you know, our infrastructure is more recycling based and less landfill based. We don't have much in the way of landfills across our company. We do own some and we do operate some, but that's really not the core of our business. We do, for those of you who know our operations in Oregon, we do obviously do recycling in Oregon. We have 3 compost facilities. We have a large MRF in Seattle. So, you know, obviously recycling is definitely a focus of ours. But as far as collection here today, which is what's most applicable, you know, we did help pioneer, you know, a 3-cart collection system years ago. And as part of that, you know, we're able to divert a lot of material. We have 12 state-of-the-art recycling facilities and 5 other compost facilities on the West Coast, aside from the 3 that many of you know about that we have in Oregon. Last year, we diverted about 1.3 million tons of material across all of our operations. You know, in supporting our mission and vision of our company, a world without waste, and just really our commitment to our communities, we do have very specialized sustainability teams, compliance teams. We have waste zero teams, and we really put a big focus on serving our communities and really the communities we live in, we work in, we play in. And really, we take a lot of focus in how our operations are run and how our employees, you know, conduct themselves via codes of conduct, and really a lot of training on how we interact with our communities, how we interact with our cities and counties. And we're, you know, every day, and I think this is nothing new in the industry, but we are constantly looking for new and innovative ways to accomplish our vision, to recycle more material, to be more efficient and provide the best possible service for our communities. Then, yeah, I mentioned employee ownership a moment ago, and you know, we have 3,800 employee owners. If you count the folks that have retired and are still in the plan, the number's far bigger in terms of shareholders. Really, this is a big piece of who we are as a company. It does create a culture of where we are very focused on our communities and very focused on our operations. It creates kind of a sense of teamwork that I know I'm proud of, and folks across our company are proud of, and it's just really what drives us in terms of you know, our vision, our mission, and the culture of our teams. On to the next slide. I will pass it on to Dan. He can tell you a little bit more about our operations.
Thanks, Steve. I appreciate it. Yeah, so I'm going to drill down a little bit more into kind of our Oregon operations. Steve covered Recology kind of up and down the West Coast. Just a little bit of background. I've only been with Recology for 4 months, and so I'm still kind of learning some of the ins and outs of this business. I have been in the solid waste industry for 23 years, but on the public side, I worked for Metro as a planning manager, and before that, I was the solid waste administrator for the city of Gresham. and I ran community environmental services for the decade before that. So I've had a chance to work, for good or bad, with Rick Winterhalter for many, many years. But I'm really happy to be working for Recology. I'm excited about adding Recology Clackamas into our mix. And what you see on the screen, diving down a little bit into Oregon, you can see the 5 different current lines of business in the state of Oregon. And so we've got Recology Western Oregon, which serves most of Yamhill County and from Rockaway all the way up to Astoria. We've got Recology Ashland, which runs sort of separately from the companies of the northern part of the state. There's a transfer station down there and collection company. And then, you're very familiar with Metro Central and Metro South. We operate both of those transfer stations on contract for Metro. And then we do participate in the Portland open market for commercial. That's Recology Portland. And then, as Steve said, we do operate compost facilities, and we have 3 in Oregon, one in Almsville, one in North Plains, and there's one attached to the McMinnville transfer station. And that's Recology Oregon Compost is that business line. And then so Recology Clackamas, if that goes through, will be our 6th business line in the state of Oregon. So Steve mentioned the number of employees total. We do have 307 Oregon employees at this point. And, we are committed to sort of building that circular economy, and we work to identify comprehensive resource recovery solutions for the communities that Recology serves. At our transfer stations here in the region, we manage 630,000 tons of waste through Metro Central and Metro South. And we processed 115,000 tons of organics at our Oregon compost facility. So that's a little bit about our Oregon operations. And, want to let you know that you're in good hands with this group. This is a little bit about our leadership. Steve was just speaking. He's our VP for Northwest. Our local general manager is Chris Carey. And then we've got, hold on a second, I'm sorry, I'm on the wrong screen. We got Victor Enriquez, who's our HR manager, regional HR manager. He's on this call. Rich Hammond, our regional safety manager. And then Amy Lecoq, who's our regional environmental manager. And so a lot of really fantastic experience in the leadership team here in Oregon to support this transition. So I think that's it. Move on to the next slide. So diving in a little bit, how would this all work out going forward? Talking a little bit about our operations plan. So we do intend to maintain Recology Clackamas as a standalone operation. So not making any significant changes in terms of who is served and how. We will not be making any changes to the current routes or service days. We will be installing DriveCam and Routeware into the trucks, so to have greater control and look at efficiencies of our collection system and ensuring safety. We are working carefully to bring on as many of the current employees of the company into Recology, and I can think that that is going really well, and so we're really happy to be able to make that transition. Once this goes through, assuming it does, there will be a comprehensive set of training and onboarding services for those employees to kind of bring them into the Recology company. We are currently working on mailings for Clackamas and the Portland franchise residential customers, as well as commercial customers that we would be taking on. And then, of course, there will be a Recology Clackamas website that's under development. And I did want to, this is really important to us, and we're really appreciative of Steve and Carla. Steve's going to stay on with us post-transition for a month as a kind of consulting us through that process. And then Carla is going to stay through April 15th to help with the rate review process and the rate making stuff. So I know it is a very high bar to follow. I've heard a lot of good things from Rick about how strong the rate process has always gone with this company. And so we really appreciate your help, Steve and Carla, moving forward. And then I just wanted to share a little bit about customer service. We do operate 3 call centers in the Pacific Northwest, receiving over 240,000 calls and 73,000 emails. We do track our data, and we're constantly working to improve those call times. So I do, really important. These are local call centers, and we found that having people who are familiar with the regions that they are answering calls from really helps out, provides better customer service. We are going to also, and correct me if I'm wrong, Liz or Steve, but I think there are 2 customer service reps out of the current company that we were working to retain, and so keeping that local connection for customers in Clackamas. That's really important to us. We use TalkDesk to monitor call center performance, and that way we can identify quickly areas that need to be improved. So again, tracking wait time, hold time, CSAT scores, etc. So that's, we're really happy with our customer service. I think there's always room for improvement, but we're committed to that. So switching gears a little bit, in early, we have been partnering with Metro and a nonprofit called Crackpots for many years to offer a Glean program. I think this has been going on for over a decade or close to a decade. This program's goal is to help the community find new ways to think about resources, art, and the environment. It provides local artists with a stipend, as well as access to material that's going through Metro Central Transfer Station. So landfill-bound waste, these artists can get in there and pick and pull different things and utilize that to create new artwork. So to date, Glean has hosted over 60 artists, and we usually get between 100 to 140 applicants per year. So that can kind of tell you how popular it is with the artist community. So this is part of a larger Recology program called Artists in Residence, and that was started in San Francisco in 1990. So our Recology San Francisco AIR program has hosted more than 150 artists and 50 student artists over the last decades. So in addition to Glean, Recology has replicated the program in Seattle and also in Ashland in Southern Oregon, which is exciting. So a little bit about next, sort of the implementation timeline and next steps. So we're, the pre-close area, we are learning everything we can from current employees and Steve and Carla. We are actively engaged in meeting with current employees, taking applications, and we'll be going through background checks and all of that. And, we're here today to talk to you about approving this, application for a franchise transfer. I think that the target is to try to close at end of October, if at all possible. And that takes us into post-closure phase, which would include, as I mentioned earlier, employee onboarding and training, getting those mailings out to customers, installing that software on the trucks, and continued coordination with the county and the city of Portland as well. So I think that's it, and we are really happy to take any and all questions that you have.
I have questions.
Okay.
Oh, you hear me? Okay, I want to make sure you heard me. First of all, Bill Potter speaking, and I have to say that I've been familiar with Recology for actually a couple of decades now, not in a direct working relationship, but I've heard nothing but good things about your operations and how you've successfully moved into Oregon and done a fine job. So I'm pretty positive about your company. Question is, recently our board and county commissioners also approved an enhanced recycling program for curbside pickup of additional types of recycling, like batteries and clamshells and that sort of thing. Question to you is, are you familiar with that program, and what are your plans for complete implementation of that?
Well, we are familiar with the program, and that the county has passed the program, and obviously we will certainly work to implement it. As far as what we think about it, we actually do this in a lot of our cities already. we've been moving towards collecting some of these recyclables that aren't traditionally part of the recycle bin. You know, batteries, for example, light bulbs, and in some cases, in some of our cities, we do styrofoam as well. So certainly we're on board, and we will participate and comply.
Okay, I would like to see follow up to make sure there's an implementation schedule on that with the transfer of the franchise.
Yeah, certainly. Okay. Yeah, Liz, we could certainly add that to our implementation plan.
Okay, I'll look forward to that.
Okay.
Thank you.
I actually have another question based on that answer. So in the places that you do styrofoam, what enables or drives that?
What drives the program, or like the inception of the program, or?
Yeah, is it required in those other areas, or is it something that somehow the geography of the location allows you guys to do?
Well, generally, it you know, when a city's wanted to do it, it's generally driven by a need or a lot of you know, resident interest in doing that, and so you know, in the cases that I know of in our region where we do that, it basically it applies to the whole city, and in most cases, it's just embedded in the cost of the rates of that city. So it's not you know, something separate we charge for or anything like that. It's just something that, you know, we've worked out with the city, either at, say, the inception of a contract, or something that at some point we've had a conversation with folks from the city, and they felt like, no, this is a program we need to partner on implementing. So, you know, those are usually the ways that those come to be.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any other questions from any other participants or attendees? Comments?
Don't see any hands raised from attendees.
All right, and with that, Rick, that moves us on to the decision options.
Yes, because I see, yeah, nobody's looking to speak or make public comment.
Okay. Do you want me to read through the options, or do you want to talk through
them? You can read through them, Mr. Chair.
Okay. I will do that. So option one is to approve the transfer of the franchise area to Recology and submit to the Board of Commissioners a recommendation to approve the transfer. Option two is to amend the request from Recology and to submit the amended request to the Board of Commissioners for a recommendation to approve as amended. And then option three is to deny the request. Would anyone like to make a motion on a vote of one of the options?
I could make the motion if that's okay.
Yes, please.
This is Bill Potter speaking. I move to approve the transfer of franchise area 70-22C to Recology of Clackamas Incorporated and submit to the Board of County Commissions a recommendation to approve the transfer.
I'll second.
Thank you both. We have a motion and a second to approve. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Aye. All opposed? I think that was everyone in favor. Okay. So
thank you, Mr. Chair.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you, Recology team, and Steve. Thank you guys for sharing the history and what Recology's mission and transfer process would be. Really informative. Okay.
So, yeah, thank you. And appreciate everyone's consideration and time and your questions and any questions that arise in the future, certainly, bring them to our attention.
Will do. Okay, next item on the agenda is a subcontract review to bring a medical waste subcontractor under Recology. Rick, I'll turn this one back over to you to.
Again, the report's clear on where the code stands on this. Infectious waste is provided via subcontract for many of the collectors. And as the commission knows, we've approved subcontracts with a couple of different providers over time. And so there's nothing surprising here. There's a business to business deal, the franchisee being, Sunset Garbage at the time, and board approval will be Recology, and they have that option and right to subcontract for the service. At this time, there wasn't a contract to review, but they have been in conversations and have a letter of intent, which is provided to you. And so I think I feel comfortable that the commission can make a recommendation to approve, disapprove, as based on that letter of intent, and we can take that recommendation forward to the board, because I think when we take it forward to the board, we will have all of the documentation.
Okay. Do we have any questions or comments about the subcontract between Recology and Trilogy?
And I don't know if, Steve, did you want to say a few words or?
I mean, all I will say is Trilogy is not a new company to us. We have an established relationship with them in our existing areas in Oregon. So, we're confident in their abilities to provide this service. So I think just for me, the key thing I want to convey is that they're not new at this, and they aren't new to us.
Yeah, just to follow up on that, if I wasn't clear, I mean, they aren't new to us as well, and they have provided service to several of our franchisees with no problems at all.
Thank you, Steve. I think that's good to hear that there's a relationship already.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. Does anyone else have any questions, comments?
Bill Potter here. I'd just like to say that we have this company's been before us before, and we spent extensive time earlier with them last year, I believe, in going over a lot of the fine details about what they do with the infectious waste material and its handled property and all that. So, and unless anything's changed from that last time, then we spent quite a bit of time talking to them, that certainly would be willing to go ahead on this.
Hey.
So.
Thank you, Bill. Okay, so our options for this decision is one, to acquire the franchisee to provide the service directly. Two, for us to not recommend approval of the subcontract, or three, recommend approval of the subcontract to the board. And it looks like staff's recommendation is option 3, to approve the subcontract. So we'll take any motions for this decision, 1, 2, or 3.
I'll make a motion to recommend approval of the subcontract to the board.
Hey,
Who's making the motion? Let's see.
Commissioner Mathias.
Okay. I would second. Bill Potter.
Okay. We have a motion to approve the subcontract in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay. Bill, I'm not sure if I heard you on that one. Maybe someone else captured it. Was that I'm assuming that was in favor as well?
I believe so.
Okay. I didn't hear it. I just want to make sure someone recorded it. Okay. All right. They're moving right along. Okay, so that I think addresses the recology actions. So thank you for the folks that helped walk us through that and provided the information. Next, we're moving on to an amendment to the Waste Commission's bylaws.
So
once again, I'll let you take it.
Okay, so this is no recommendation needs to go to the board for your bylaw changes. They are the purview of the Solid Waste Commission to change those as they see fit. And so I'm kind of bringing this forward because we've noticed that we had put in, when we created the bylaws, when they were coming out of our code and we were creating them, we had several more franchisees that could participate in the positions on the commission, and we kind of asked for asked for 2 submittals by the Clackamas County Refuse and Recycling Association for folks to sit on the commission, in order that there was an option for the board to make a choice, because the board does make the appointment on the commission. So that was our intent, but as franchisees, we have fewer franchisees than we did then, and it was just not practicable, and just in regular practice, submitting one person to fit the position seemed to be fine and seemed to work out. So that is why I brought this forward, to make the change for you to consider it and decide if you wanted to amend the bylaws in that way.
Rick, could you kind of explain that in fewer words, what we're actually changing here?
Sure. Right now it says the bylaws say we need to submit, commission needs to, or Clackamas County Refuse Association needs to submit 2 candidates for a position on the commission. And we're just suggesting that just bring us 1. I mean, you can bring 2, you can bring multiples if you want, but it doesn't have to happen. We just found in practice, it just wasn't practical. There was really
so this is the actual change in the bylaws. I mean, before, when we've had changes in the bylaws, they were like highlighted so we could tell the difference, and I'm not seeing that here.
Well, I apologize for that. It should be on that bylaw attachment.
It looks like in
a simple change.
Yeah, what I've seen is in the change, Article 4, Section C, in the last sentence. Basically, Rick, it looks like we changed it from shall submit at least 2 candidates to shall submit at least 1 candidate for consideration.
And that's all, right?
That's it.
That's it? Okay, thank you.
And Rick, I had a question. So this in no way affects the composition of the commission to have 2 franchise members, right?
No, that would be a separate issue, longer discussion. It's more just how many candidates we have to review, or that we would submit to the board for their selection. It sounded good in theory.
Rick, so the commission, however, would still be comprised of what, 6 members?
7.
7, yes.
2 industry representatives, 3 public, and 2 DTD or 2 county sanitarian, and the director or their assignee for DTD. So that's all I have. Mr. Chair.
Yeah, sorry, I have a question, Sting. I'm just not sure how to word it, but I'll just ask it and you can guide me through it. So who is the, do we have any candidates through the association right now?
No,
Okay.
no,
If we went to one, would we have one or what?
not right now. No, neither of those positions are up. So neither of those positions are up. This is just something to go forward so that the association doesn't feel that they need to present two folks.
Okay, so
They,
when with this change and really the same as today's, when there is a new franchise seat open on the commission, these bylaws would require that the association provides one possible candidate for that chair.
they can provide more if they wish.
Okay,
We're just
got it.
not requiring them to provide more.
More than one.
Yep, more than one. Yeah, sorry.
Thank you for, it's probably pretty basic, but it's helped to hear it. Okay. So there's a decision here too, right? For us to agree to amend the bylaws?
Yes.
Okay. Would anyone like to make a motion on approving the amendment from two association member provided to one?
Well, I'll make the motion if nobody else will. Bill Potter. I'll make a motion to approve staff recommendation to amend the minutes of Article 4, Section C as proposed in the attached draft.
Thank you, Bill. Would anyone care to second that motion?
I'll second.
Hey, motioned and seconded to approve the amendment. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, I think that's unanimous as well. All righty. Thank you, everyone. That was good. We're making good time for a late start. Next item on the agenda: public comments, or I guess open discussion. Does anyone have any items to discuss?
There is no public
I have a
commenting. Sorry, Mr. Potter.
I had a discussion item. Can I go with that?
Yeah, sorry, Rick. I modified that item a little bit just because there wasn't really a public topic. Is that okay? Okay, go ahead, Bill.
Okay. I continue to be concerned about our Recycling Plus program. I was under the assumption from our May meeting that implementation was in order in all areas. And so my area is a rural Clackamas County, and I have my little sack of batteries. And I was concerned that if I put it in my Kirby, that it might end up in the garbage or in the recycling with the glass. So I gave my hauler a call and asked them, what am I supposed to do with my batteries? They're supposed to be picked up. And Harry said, no, we don't do that. We don't pick those up. And so I'm kind of at a loss now, because I was certainly thinking that implementation of that program was well underway. So I think we need to have some follow-up there. Does anybody want to add anything to that?
Well, I would just say that, as your county representative, you can always send me an email and I will follow up with the collector, and I will do that this afternoon.
Okay, was that
I think there's just some misinformation.
I went all alone on that, or is that going to be something that some of the other haulers may be in that same boat? Have you heard?
No, we've heard from most people. I mean, there were some hiccups, I think, right in the beginning, and certain, but I think with everybody else, it's been pretty straightforward.
Okay. Are we going to?
Well, you can speak to it.
Yeah,
speak to it.
I can't speak for other companies, but I will say that, for all of our customers, and we're in distant rural, Oregon City, Gladstone, and Molalla, and we collect batteries for all of our customers. We offer the Recycle Plus program for our rural customers. And
Who's speaking
for
here?
Gladstone and Green City. This is Will Mathias,
With,
E&B Leasing.
okay. Well, I'll tell you what, Rick, I'll give you an email to that for you to follow up.
Okay,
That work for you?
that works for me.
Okay.
Don't even need to send an email then.
And Rick, just to
Okay,
clarify, the normal process for any member of the public would be to call the county waste for phone line. I'm forgetting the name of it, but there's like concerns or questions about the program. There's a number that's published that members can call, right?
Yes, waste info is the email, and is it 557? What's the 6363? Is it 557? Yeah, 503-557-6363 is our general number for those types of calls. But always call your collector first.
Which I did, yeah.
Yep.
Thank you for that update, Bill. I'm collecting some things to recycle as well, so I haven't put it to the test yet, but I'll be next. Okay. Does anyone else have any comments, or I guess we can move on to the last item, which is just updates? Do we have staff updates or any other?
The only update I have right now is we are in the hiring process for 3 sustainability analyst seniors positions. One vacated by myself and one vacated by our business outreach person, and then a new position. So we've just gone through interviews the past couple of days and on to figuring out who's going to come along for a second interview. So that's where we are. That's the update for me. Tennille, anything?
I think my only comment is just to be clear that the batteries is a separate thing from Recycle Plus. So batteries should be functioning countywide. Recycle Plus is currently in urban unincorporated areas of the county and some select cities that have approved it, just to make the distinction that they're separate.
Thank you.
And I don't have anything else.
That's it for us. And thanks everybody for your patience through the technical difficulties.
Thank you. Is it reasonable? I know there was a sort of a phased rollout to be determined for Recycle Plus. Is it reasonable maybe at our next meeting to talk about when the next outer layer of the unincorporated county could possibly get Recycling Plus?
We can do that.
Okay.
At your pleasure. Absolutely.
And then I had a question, Rick, or to Neil or whoever might be able to answer. Do we have the 7th seat posted, or have we started looking for another member for this group?
We are going to do that probably soon after this meeting, probably start next week to put something out and post something for a new public member. We kind of want to be intentional about how we do that. In the past, we've done kind of just a typical outreach efforts, and we're going to, just putting something on the website and something that's pretty generic, pretty general. We're going to be a little more intentional this time about maybe looking at a youth member, finding somebody active, or looking through other local groups that may provide some opportunities, get some new voices on the commission. So that's what we're doing this time. So it's going to take a little bit more time.
Good idea. Okay. Does anyone else have any items to discuss? If not, would anyone like to make a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
One
If anyone-
second. Bill Potter.
Okay. Motion to adjourn in second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay, thanks, everyone. Thanks, Bill, for.
Thank you all very much.
Thank you all. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Take care. It's good to
Thank
see
you.
everyone.
Thank you all.
Thank you.